Feeling better or so?
Yeah, I've been not taking best care of myself, I guess.
Oh boy. Well, hope you get this knocked out and feeling better.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm supposed to go on a Alaskan cruise on Sunday, so we'll hopefully I can get on board. Otherwise, I'll be sneaking on. No.
From word on the street is that Patrick's going to be joining up the circus because he's a professional juggler with everything he has going on.
That's right. I will be. I've always wanted to be in the circus. Just seems inappropriate as an adult at some point. All right. Let me boost this.
Try out your court jester hat on these Zooms and see how that works.
You know, I usually wear it when I'm not on the Zoom, so I guess I could just bring it on, huh? Cool. All right, let's start off. You guys got some wins? No? Silence?
I have a non-financial win. After not belonging to a gym since before the pandemic, we joined up at a new health club yesterday, and going to get back into the gym and be more like Patrick, hanging out in hot tubs and jacuzzis and saunas.
Yeah, man, that's the way to go. It's certainly, I'll tell you, man, it's made a huge difference, I think, in my mentality. Jeff is actually, as a neutral or like a third party, Jeff's noticed that this has been beneficial for me, man. So it's easy when we're business owners to get stressed out. And I think it's also easy to prioritize the business ahead of us and our needs. And I'll tell you, one of the battles I have, I feel guilty a lot of time if I spend too much time there. You know, I'm like, man, I should really be working, but it's only like 2 hours. And I'm like working 14, 16 hours a day a lot of times. So it's like kind of a, it's a gut check to realize like I shouldn't feel guilty for taking care of myself, but that's where it goes, you know. And yeah, I would certainly encourage that. That's awesome. I'm really happy that you're doing that, Spencer. I encourage the rest of you guys to do the same. Find some time for yourself.
Yeah, game changer.
Game changer. Man, we got who else has some wins?
Man, no action on the wins.
I'll share some wins for me. So we had a client that we were kind of talking to take over one area, and they turns out they weren't going to be able to. We had leads coming in already, like a lot of you guys do. So we're like, okay, try them out, let us know. So we're sending them the leads. Turns out that this is probably too far for them to drive. But because we were sending them the leads and they were real leads, they're like, wow, this is really impressive what you guys are sending over here. Some of this stuff, like we send them a 17,000 square foot concrete job that's out of their ballpark, but we proved that we could deliver, which made the next process. We moved them into a different market that's more apt for them, and I think we'll be closing. I think we'll be closing them on that new market now, which is great. Some of you guys saw I was on a cruise. Well, not really a cruise. My friend bought a yacht in Marco Island, and we transported it, came up through the Keys. That was amazing. I'll tell you, after spending like almost 3 days, I felt so refreshed. Just that 3-day step away from the business, disconnection. We went snorkeling in the Florida Keys, which was amazing. There was like these barracudas that, you know, are like 3 or 4 feet long. And I know that the barracuda has teeth, but I was not covered. He was just like kind of eyeballing me, and I'm going back towards the boat a little bit more. I know those things can rip someone up, but saw some really cool fish and sea turtles and all kinds of stuff like that. The water is amazing. So that was a win to have that like separation and go and enjoy stuff. And another win for me, like I said, I'm going on this cruise. We're leaving tomorrow to go out to Vancouver. Never been to Vancouver. If anyone has any suggestions on things to do, I'm all ears. And then we're taking a cruise on Sunday through Alaska with my parents, which is amazing because, you know, I saw somewhere that like by the time we're 18, we spent over 90% of the time we're going to spend with our parents has happened by the time we're 18, once we like move out of the house. So I think it's really important to be intentional about finding these times. So spending a week on an Alaskan cruise with my parents, I think it's going to be amazing. some really cool excursions lined up. But yeah, so cool. I am still looking for wins. Anyone else? Anyone else have anything else they want to
I had a
share?
win. I went for 5 days to Joshua Tree and went to a festival, and it was a freaking blast. A great time grounding in nature. Joshua Tree is amazing. There's some desert rains and just lots of good music and lots of good friends and lots of good times. It was awesome.
Super cool. It's great to have these jobs, these careers that allow us to do these things that we want to do, right? And take that time off, man. So that's great, Jeff. It looked like an awesome time. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Speaking of a win, I think I'd mentioned last month, I quit my full-time job. It kind of dropped to a part-time position, and just that freedom of just having all this extra time to kind of focus on the business has been really great for me, and just my mental health and everything. Just kind of stepping away from my long-term career in that way has really helped. And then last month, my take-home profit was higher than the income I made from my full-time job for the first time ever. That was a big milestone for me.
That's a huge win.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cool, Alex.
Yeah. So I'm just eventually I'd just like to replace, be in a place of security where I can just leave my job altogether and just kind of just be an entrepreneur. And, but I am focused too on the freedom that comes with entrepreneurial. I did read that book that you gave us there, Patrick. So I want to, as I'm building my business, I want to make sure I'm focused on, delegating those tasks to people and not just being consumed by the business,
Yeah. You know what I think the hardest part about that book is, so he's talking about Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell.
Yeah.
Doing the small stuff that's in the book, the little homework assignments that he says that seem like, okay, I get the concept. Let me go on to the next thing, like the time audit and setting your alarm every 15 minutes and trying to decide what type of task this is. That can be hard for people to actually execute and do that. But it's important to gather that data and go through the steps. I always see people that, like when there's something to do, they just go and do it. And it seems like that's really there's a strong correlation between those people and success. And I'm guilty of, like, first time I read that book, I just read it. And the second time I'm like, okay, I'm going to do everything as this comes through. And some of the stuff takes a while, right? So I'm not finished with all of them,
Yeah, like I've only done like the first read of it, and I it hasn't all absorbed, and I have to go back and read and go through the exercises for sure. Yeah,
I would recommend the audiobook too. If you can have a higher level of retention by listening and reading it at the same time. And Dan Martell actually reads the book himself, which is kind of cool because you can hear some of the emotion. And then at the end of the chapters in the audiobook, he talks about what it meant to him, like why that chapter is important, and just gives like a little more clarification, which is it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Cool. Awesome, man. Those are huge wins, Alex. Congrats on that. If you could just share, like, what was it? You've been kind of, Alex, when did you start? When did you start in this business model?
3 years ago.
Okay. And what do you think it was that, like, what allowed you to make this kind of transition into this? And then 3 years to get here. And I'm not looking for you to say, like, Rank Masters was a solution. I'm talking more about like the mental changes or the behavioral changes that you made, that I think you've doubled your income in the last like 90 days, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to put a finger directly on what it has been. I think it's just been like a persistence, like I've had moments where I wanted to quit and thought that it wasn't going to work out, and getting better at the sales process and things like that, and just kind of like seeing the flow of how lead gen works and watching the calls come in and knowing what their value is. When you get a certain number of calls coming in, you're thinking, okay, this is actually valuable. And then just talking to business owners and realizing the value that you get they get from the leads that I'm generating just helped me build confidence over time. And I was able to speak with business owners with more confidence. And then as I gained that confidence, like my income started to go up, right? And then like also, it was like going to that event last time. Like I saw Alec just jump in here. Alec and I have kind of been working together. And I met Alec at the event, and we've kind of developed a bit of a friendship, and together we've been kind of closing deals, and you know, our income has gone up kind of together. So like, you know, that trip to Miami, I have to credit for meeting Alec, and we just developed a nice friendship here as we're working together now.
That's super cool. Yeah. And that's part of what I'm you know, most excited about is there's going to be more of these. Like, right, today's our launch call. We're going to talk about the event, right? But there's going to be more of these relationships that are going to come out of this. It's just a question of who's going to be at the event that's going to have the opportunity to experience this type of stuff, you know. And I'm excited because it kind of feels like a snowball that just keeps on like picking up people and people. So Jeff and I, and a collection of people, Janari was a part of it. Prior to the pandemic, we were kind of doing these mastermind weekends, right? We had started out, I think the first one, maybe there was like 10 of us. And then the next one, there was 15. And then there was like 25. And then then people were like, hey, how do I become a part of this? And then the pandemic hit and we kind of like shut it down. But now it seems like we're picking that back up again. And it's so cool to be a part of this community and to see what we're building and the impact that it can have on people, like, you know, making good relationship with Alec. And, you know, now you guys have a partnership and your business has doubled, and you didn't go from like $1 to $2. You went from like 7,500 to 15,000. That's kind of like a life-changing double, right? Where it's like, okay, we can kind of live off this money to now, like, we've got some breathing room, you know, we can start to like maybe take some cash out of this or reinvest it for a faster, whatever.
Yeah, it allowed me to leave my job, you know, essentially.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And then with that comes like, now you've got more freedom all of a sudden, right? And that's so cool. That's so cool. You know, you guys, a lot of people came to that event and not everybody took the action steps, right? So, you know, being there's one thing with like showing up, but actually taking the steps and getting in there and getting the right energy and getting around the right people was the first thing. But what you did, but some of the people that haven't had the same results, is you just came home and like you said, you were persistent and you're like, okay, I'm going to do this. These other people can do this, right? If Spencer can do this, then anyone can do it. No, I'm just kidding. If Spencer can do this, then I can do it, right? And seeing that and like being around it for, you know, a few days and you kind of start to believe in yourself, and then building these friendships where you can kind of solve some of these problems when you go away from the mastermind, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I've also noticed that when you had your job, you were always clean shaven. So I guess we've got something new to look at now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't have to like get dressed and, you know.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So we got Mr. Chris Moore on here. What's up, Chris? How you doing?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. So I think a lot of you guys, some of you guys on this call, some of you guys watching this call don't know Chris. So Chris and I and Jeff and actually Caleb have we have a partnership that we created a coaching program. Chris is a big part of it. Chris was a big part of the first event. Chris, I'd love it for the people that haven't met you before. Can you just give us a little background on who you are and what you bring to the table here?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a recovering agency owner. I was in the marketing agency business a long time. I had a lot of fun with it. I was in the medical niche doing plastic surgery, medical spas, ophthalmology, regenerative medicine, chiropractic, dermatology, all kinds of cash pay elective stuff. So a lot of high ticket. We did full agency services, as well as I've owned many companies, probably between 5 and 7 at a time for the last 10 years. And now I run own part of and run a giant business acquisitions training company, as well as I'm a partner here with Patrick and Jeff and Caleb. So that's probably my 2 favorite things that I'm doing. But I kind of identify more as a business development, sales and marketing kind of divergent rather than just a marketer. I've done it all. I probably do sales training more than anything else. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome. So Alex was just, I'm not sure if you were on the call when he started talking about this. We were talking about how Alex has doubled his revenue over the last 90 days. And part of that, he says, is the confidence, just having a better understanding of sales and the reps, I think, have led to it. I know that Chris, we spent some time in there going through the sales. We spent a lot of time on that type of stuff. So I think that, Alex deserves all the credit, but it's great when you have access to somebody like Chris, who's going to be at the event, who's going to be speaking at the event, spending time with you guys. It's great when you have access to somebody like this, that is an expert on training at sales. Because it seems like, for me, from my perspective, I can kind of put most people in two boxes when they're struggling with this business. One is that they're struggling with fulfillment, or two is they're struggling with sales, right? So I think what Chris brings, and Chris is also really sound with the operations and having that marketing background. So that's amazing to have you be at this event and kind of a part of the coaching side of the program. Caleb is another operations master. So he's kind of like handling the fulfillment side of things a lot, and helping people, teaching some of that stuff, how to hire, how to recruit, how to measure this stuff. Caleb, if you guys haven't met him, Caleb Olku was in operations for ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil at one time was the #1 highest revenue company in the world. And Caleb, very engineering mind. Caleb's not the one who's going to teach you, sales. That's not, but he's a master of the operation. So we've got that kind of dynamic duo there. We're going to be bringing in a number of high-level speakers for this event. So I'm going to mix it up. The guys that we brought the first time were amazing. But based on the feedback that I saw from you guys, I'll love it. Throw it in the chat if you guys went to the first event and you plan to attend the second event. Throw that in the chat for us, because my bet is, based on my perception of the feedback, is that there is going to be a ton of repeat people in there. Part of that was the value that I think we brought, the amazing speakers that we brought, and you guys, this community. This is really special. I go to a lot of different masterminds over the years, join a ton of them, and one of the things I pay most attention to is like, what does this feel like when I'm here? Like, what is this welcoming? Or are people a little bit more standoffish? And hey, in the ones where the people are standoffish, I still get a ton of value. But what I'm really proud is, I think people kind of feel like they're part of something when they come to this, and that's certainly what we're going to bring. Having it in a mansion, I think, really accentuates that possibility. It makes it feel more intimate. We got, we're going to have a pool party, right? So there's all that stuff that kind of surrounds it. So for those you guys haven't seen, it's like 27th and 30th. It's going to be in Orlando. So we've rented out a mansion. Chris, I think you put the video into the group, right? We have that promo video in there.
Yeah, I think Jeff did last night. Yes, sir.
Okay. So check that thing out if you haven't seen it. It's amazing to have the event be held at this unbelievable venue. I know for a lot of you guys that go to events, you're in some hotel room. I've never been to an event where someone was like, man, did you see that conference room at the hotel? That doesn't happen. But there's a bowling alley inside the house. Have you guys ever been to a house that has a bowling alley? What about laser tag with game rooms? The backyard has a lazy river in it, right? There's a theater essentially in the center of a lazy river that runs around it. So having an amazing venue is awesome. But when you start to stack it up with an awesome community like we have here, and leveraging lots of diverse talent. One of the really cool things about bringing Chris in is, even though Chris has an agency background, he has a ton of experience with marketing and a lot of stuff. A lot of us come from a rank and rent space. So his connection points, while there's some overlap, there's also a lot of difference. And Chris is somebody that's been around this for a really long time. And like me, he's kind of like a mastermind junkie, where he's doing everything he can to try to get himself in front of the right people. So these are the people. Last time, I think we had, there were 7 speakers, and we had 7 Inc. 5000. So Inc. 5000 is a privately held company of one of the fastest growing 5,000 privately held companies in the United States. So there's 7 speakers. We had 7 of those, multiple other awards. We had a couple of people that were doing the marketing for Tony Robbins and Jim Rohn. Like they so high level people, and that we're going to bring the same thing this time. I'll admit last time I had a little imposter syndrome. I'm like, man, what if I put this event out and nobody wants to show up? Or what if I try to get speakers and they don't want to come? And I realized we put this out and we sold out the VIPs in 3 hours. And then we sold out the rest of the stuff. And the event went over really well. And the speakers were so excited to come join us. It was so easy. And part of this, like, hey, being around and having good friends that are good friends with these people makes that really easy. I'm sure we're going to have no problems securing really, really highly talented people. Part of what we did last time that I think made it special is when people signed up, we sent you guys a survey, and then we looked at where you were struggling, and then we went and found speakers that were like really kind of perfect for what we thought your weaknesses are, and would expose you to some new things. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to take a survey for the people that join. I would love to, Alex, you shared a little bit about what the event meant to you. A lot of the people that are on this call were at that event. I would just love to run through some of this stuff, share a little bit about it. If you guys are watching this, do me a favor. If you know someone that's not on this call, that's in the group, maybe tag them in the comments of Facebook. If you think that they would benefit from coming to this event, if you want them to kind of be a part of our community and you think they would be a good fit, tag them. Let's get them on the call. Maybe they can jump in. My mission is to have as much impact as I can on people. And looking around, seeing all the faces that I recognize on here, I trust you guys' opinion on who you would recommend to join us. So let's go over to Spencer. Spencer, I'm just going to kind of like go vertically here. Spencer, how was the event for you? And what were some of the big takeaways?
Yeah, excuse me, event was amazing. For me, it was really those breakout VIP sessions, not pushing everybody to pay the additional cash, but there was just this one tweak, and Patrick remembers what it is, that final day that was like, that's the issue, right? Like the offer was incorrect. I was working a lot harder than I needed to be doing with selling the one-off projects instead of packaging it all up. And that was worth the whole weekend. Obviously, there was a lot of networking, a lot of getting to know people, and I'm actually taller in person than I am on the computer. That's what Patrick. I mean, everybody say, "Hey, man, you're bigger. You're bigger than you look on the computer." So anyway, yeah. It was an amazing weekend. I look forward to having what's one extra day. This event is.
Yeah, it's going to be one extra day. Yeah. So
yeah, love it.
For some people that flew, like we took the feedback you guys said seriously, right? So some people, they flew in. We had the meet and greet on Friday. We had the event on Saturday with all the content. So we're going to kind of break it up. 2 days of content, meet and greet on. So it's kind of going to be like a 4-day event, and with more mastermind pieces or more like VIP pieces as a part of that. We can't make the VIP much bigger because then it's not VIP. Then it's just like a lot of people. We want to keep that intimate. So I imagine the VIP stuff will sell out. I think it sold out in 3 hours last time. So I'll be dropping the link here in a little bit for you guys to jump in that. Spencer, thank you for sharing that. Yeah. That tweak. Yeah, it's one of those things that it comes out through conversation. Like we were in a VIP session, and I think we limited it to 10 last time. So we were kind of going around the circle, and we got to Spencer. I think you might have been last, Spencer. And
yeah, it was right there at the last one, I think.
Yeah. And you had just like said something in a certain way. And I was like, we gotta like unpack that a little bit more, and like just drilling down and asking questions. And I was like, oh, that's how you're doing it. We got to pivot to that. And that was huge. And it actually really led to a revelation for me, because as a coach, I started realizing that if we don't have the right offer, then like everything else breaks down. Like the whole deliverability is based on the offer. And if you don't have the right offer in place, then it's like, how do we know that we're delivering, and how do we know that we can have a profit? What are the restrictions of it? So a lot of the people that are in the Rank Masters coaching, I keep pushing you to the offer because it protects you. It protects you from things like what Spencer was dealing with, where it was kind of like a roller coaster where he's making good money, but he's got to sell every month. So we tweaked it. And I think that is that for me, that was a big learning experience too, is like, let's just get the offer right for everyone. And then we can control the deliverables, right? When you have 70 things on the menu, like we want to be like In and Out with 4 things on the menu, not Cheesecake Factory, where we've got to have all these different stations, right? So like small menu, things that we know we can deliver on. And then we don't need 400 people, right? We don't need to make all these one-offs and going off all these different directions, you know? So yeah, that was awesome. I was so happy that we were able to make that connection for you on that. Now let's go over to, I believe her name is Janeri Canary.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, talk to us.
So the event was amazing. Definitely going to be there in July. For me, I feel like what my biggest takeaway is being an entrepreneur. I feel like it's like a lonely journey. I know a lot of people kind of can connect with that. So like in person, just being with all these other entrepreneurs in this Legion model, I think that was the biggest takeaway. And then the teachings, I mean, that you're not going to get this on a LeadSnap call every single Wednesday, right? So that was huge. And then you come back with this energy and momentum and motivation, just talking and networking. I think it's amazing. And I love the intimacy as well. So it was amazing.
Awesome. Yeah. It was great. It was great connecting with you there too. And you know, Janeri, you were one of the people that I knew the best that was there. Like we'd hung out in person. So like I'll tell you, it was kind of like I was a little nervous going into it. I'm like, man, all these people are like, this isn't a Zoom. It was nice to have a face that I knew there last time. And you helped out so much. We were so appreciative, you and Joe. Let's go over to him next. Mr. Joe.
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm wonderful. Yeah, man. Like again, going to LeadSnap, I mean, it was amazing. Like I said, I'm just not piggybacking off of Janeri. I mean, meeting some people, and actually, it's one thing seeing them on Zoom. It's another thing seeing people face to face, and just the energy and all the knowledge and stuff that we actually got from the event was just, I mean, it's just great, man. And also to piggyback off of Spencer, yeah, Spencer, I didn't know you were that tall, man. Like, that's just my size, man. I'm looking up at you. You know, I'm looking up like, man, okay, he's tall. You know, but
that's some kind of trick. He's got a trick camera on Zoom, man. He makes himself look smaller. I don't know if he's like further away from the camera or what.
Yeah, but no, it's a great event, man. I love it, and again, we'll definitely be back. You know, it's so much information there. You know, it just can't. It's all the stuff, information hitting you at once. It's great.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Janeri and Joe, power couple there. Thank you guys for sharing that stuff. Let's go over to let's go to Doug. Doug, that was the first time we got to meet in person, man, and that was super cool. I know you kind of like have been around. We've been in the same circles for a little while, so that was amazing to meet you in person last time. But I'd love to hear about what you thought of the event, some of your takeaways, and anything that any other advice that you may have for people that are considering it.
Yeah, no, it was a great event. I enjoyed meeting everybody, and especially you for the first time. You brought in a lot of talented speakers, a lot of good stuff, a lot of good takeaways. I think anyone that is serious about their business should plan on going. And as I mentioned before, I'm happy to sponsor a person that you pick to go to the event. That's how much I believe in the event. And I am getting ready. I leave tomorrow for Cuba for a few days. I get back on the 1st, and I'm actually launching a niche in the home improvement side of things to expand what I do. I brought on an ops manager to help with the legal side, and I am bringing in an ops manager to help on the home improvement side. But that came from, being at the event and learning more about that segment. I mean, we have a huge website that generates leads for Home Advisor and Angie's and just signed up Porch. But we are going to niche down into one particular niche and launch that June 1st. So by July, we'll have a lot of wins to talk about.
That's great. Yeah. I know that you had played more in the legal niche, which that's competitive, guys, right? I've steered people away from that niche because there's just a lot of extra hoops to jump through. Well, Doug has jumped through those hoops and he's done it successfully. And now he's like, it sounds like with the ops manager, Doug, you've essentially pulled yourself out of that business a little bit and you're like, hey, I'm going to focus on this, but you're also kind of structuring the venture into the home services from the beginning, where you've kind of set yourself up to be out of that pretty quickly as well. And maybe just more focus on the higher level stuff. Definitely.
Because right now we added another business, Lead Chat 24/7 live chat service to our portfolio as well.
Super cool. And Doug, I want to thank you for your generosity on making a donation to this, because I can feel your heart on that, and that's what it is for me. Anyone that knows me, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve. I want to have a massive impact, and this means that maybe, hey, someone that wasn't going to be able to go gets to go and enjoy this, and who knows, maybe that leads to like Alex here, where he creates a connection. He's able to quit his job. He's got more free time and he's making more money than before, which is, that's why we're here. So thank you so much for that.
No, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jeff, we got to keep our eyes up for who this person will be, come up with some criteria. If you guys want to maybe throw out, yeah, we'll get back to you. We're going to come up with a strategy on how we can qualify this person. If you're interested in going though, fill out this form that we're going to share here in a little bit. So let's go over to Mr. Johnny Ochoa, who I believe is Colombia. Where are you, man? You're in a different part of the world right now, aren't you?
I actually just got back last night, like real late last night. But yeah, I was just in Colombia. I was actually meeting my my operations manager for the first time, so that was cool. So for me, the event was huge because my operations was the thing that I needed the most help with. My fulfillment was okay, my sales was okay, but it was just operations and staying ahead of the curve. I felt like every time I got a new customer or a new partner, I was just falling behind. I wasn't organized, and that's just not my specialty. So going to the event, I learned a lot, but the one thing I took away the most was Patrick's, was your presentation, just how to hire. So I hired someone after the event. I took a little bit of time to make sure that they were the right person. She was fantastic. I had this trip planned already, so I kind of was able to kill two birds with one stone and got to meet her, which is great. So now my business I was able to step away from the business for the past month almost, with just some family stuff. I haven't really been in the business, and it's been running smoothly, which has been, it's like just a huge takeaway. I've been, able to spend time with family and my son. And I come back and the business is still there. It's not, burning down, and I haven't really touched it for a month. So it's just so cool that I'm able to do that. And I feel really blessed that, I'm in this business that allows me to, take a break if I need to. So it's really cool. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I remember having those conversations with you at the event. I knew even before you left the event, you had said that's my takeaway, because you were in the weeds with your business a lot. And I think this idea, sometimes we get so comfortable with like the day-to-day of things that we don't realize that, well, the day-to-day, there's a big problem in the day-to-day. And we've got to and then when we realize it, we're like, oh my God, I need to fix this as soon as possible. And I know that you had you had hired someone originally, and that didn't work out. but you stayed after it, and then you went and you found someone, and it sounds like it's working out a lot better now, right?
Yeah, definitely. Originally, I tried to hire someone in Pakistan, and I mean, great worker. She's still on my team. She just does more of the fulfillment side, and she's great, but we just weren't able to connect. Or I wasn't able to get her to, do the things that I wanted to. And so after that event, one of the things you talked about was, hey, South America has some workers. They have culture that's similar to us. Time zone is similar. So that's where I found this girl from Colombia, and it's been a game changer, honestly.
That's awesome. How did you, I know that my presentation was really about how to locate these people and identify whether they were the right fit. How did you put that into process? Because I know this is something a lot of people struggle with. And I'd just love for you to share a little value on what was your process like, and how did you know you had found the right person?
Yeah, I think, I hired slow, definitely. So I had multiple interviews. I went to LinkedIn. You kind of, on the discovery call for the Rank Masters, we had a great 30-minute chat, and you kind of went over a few things that you did with LinkedIn and the questions you asked. And I can't remember right now. I'm drawing a blank on the test, the quiz that I gave her.
Colbier Index.
Yes, Colbier. So I gave her, I had 3 people that I gave Colbier Index to, just to make sure that they were the right fit. And she, kind of similar to, I think, someone that you hired, but she kind of managed her family. She was like the oldest sister, and she had 5 younger brothers, and the parents were always working. So she had to kind of manage her family for a lot of her life, which I think is like a huge operations right there in itself. And then she moved on and, got a job. She was never an SEO, which I think was good, because then I can kind of teach her from the ground up, teach her lead generated. So now she's in that all the time. So yeah, it was just honestly hiring slow, and, not being too hey, I need this person. Colbier was great, making sure that they're the right fit, making sure their monthly salary fits with mine. So it took a time. It took probably about a month and a half, 2 months, but I'm, satisfied with it.
Probably one of the most important hires that you'll make is to kind of get that operations. It sounds like you and Doug have kind of put that operations person in place and prioritize that. So that's super cool to see, man. Very cool, man. Congrats on that. Congrats on being able to step away from the business a little bit, man. It's kind of crazy how quickly things can change, when hey, I'm in the weeds. Oh, this is the missing piece. I do that. Oh, now I'm I haven't really worked much in a month and a half, and the place isn't burning down. And you have a pretty decent sized agency too, so it's not like Johnny's just managing $2,000 or $3,000 a month that's coming in. This person that he put in there is running a pretty decent sized agency, so congrats, man. That's a huge win. And I love hearing that, Johnny. Are you going to be joining us in Orlando?
100%. I wouldn't miss it. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to hang with you again. Yeah. Awesome. Let's go over to, let's see who else we got on here. Mr. Vadim.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry I missed the beginning, just joined, so I'm not even sure what we've covered so far.
Yeah, we're just talking about, so we've got our event that we're launching here, and I just wanted to talk to some of the people that were at the first event, share some of their experiences and any of the takeaways, anything that's changed since the event. And hey, what's your opinion? Should these people join us? If they're on the fence, what can you tell these people?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a no-brainer. I've escalated my agency since half a year ago, right? We had one in February. Ever since I joined that program, I went to that mastermind. First of all, I made a lot of good connections. Second of all, I've got exposure to new models, new opportunities out there. So it's not only that we can do it one way, there are several other ways we can actually approach this rank and rent model and be more diverse. Again, connections, a lot of people, new strategies, see what other agencies do, how they address the same issues that I'm experiencing at my agency. So it's a no-brainer. I mean, so much value. I loved it, and I'm eager to attend the next one.
Awesome, man. Yeah. And I'm eager to give you your notebook back that I think you left at that event that I've had for all these months, even though we're only an hour and a half away. I've got it for you.
I know. You can leave a little note in there.
I will. I've been journaling in there for you. I've been just taking some observations from my life and putting it in there for you. So Vadim, it was so cool to hang out with you. I think we've met in person maybe once or twice before, right out in Vegas. But it was kind of cool to get to spend some more time with you. And yeah, I think you brought a lot of you brought a lot of different diversity to this, where you've got a background as an attorney. You were born in the United States. You've got all sorts of different experiences. So it's kind of cool to have people from all these different walks of life in there sharing their stuff and giving different thoughts on stuff. I know a lot of people mentioned that you had given them some insight into that was helpful for them during the business. So that was super cool. I assume you're going to be joining us again, Vadim?
Absolutely. I'll be there.
Awesome. Very cool. All right.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, you're welcome. Let's go over to Robert Strada, Robert J. Strada III.
What's going on, Patrick? Yeah, man. Dude, it was life-changing. I could easily say it was life-changing. I had just gotten out of the Navy and decided to dive full into this business model. And I don't have deep previous roots in the LeadSnap community, but I just had a feeling if I go, it'll change my life. And I'm many things, but I'm not a liar. So I'm without doubt saying that meeting the people, the connections changed my life. January says that the entrepreneurial space is lonely. And that's 100% true. But like, oh my gosh, other entrepreneurs are so generous. I mean, we're all going through the same stuff. And all my friends are entrepreneurs now. We're the only people that understand each other. And it started with people at the event, like kind of poking holes in my systems and my thinking and my sales process and small stuff. And by the end, after the event, like together, they just completely ripped apart everything I was doing with love and pieced it back together with me. And I would have been 100% lost if not for the people in the group. I would be, cold calling and selling websites over the phone for $500. I mean, Patrick's got a full heart, and if it's what's caught, not taught. And it was kind of Patrick's heart and the kindness and the realness of all the other people who were like kind of in this tribe. That's more the reason why I joined this Rank Master group. And like the event allowed me to get like a total mindset shift. Because I thought being around hardship, being in like the foxhole, painting yourself in a corner, fighting for like food kind of a way was the way to succeed. And that's the only way to make progress, because that's what I knew in the military. But it's not. Being around the right people and like helped me change the old philosophy that it's not putting yourself in a corner, but being around wealth, being like around beauty, and like it's understanding like surviving versus thriving. But I mean, not to mention that you guys made me close my first few deals, plural. So yeah, the connections were life-changing. The event was life-changing. So
you went into that event with no money coming in from the business.
No, your event, it's funny. I told you this, I had like a 30,000. Your event was like the first thing I put on my credit card. I was like, I'm doing it. Like, let's try it out.
Yeah, that's hey, the fortune favors the bold. And I'm not advising people to pay for an event that you can't afford. But I also know that when there's something to be said when you kind of burn your bridges and you're all in on something, and you want to make sure that you kind of like hitch your horse to the right carriage or somebody you believe in. I know that's risky when like it feels risky. Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. It feels risky because you're just listening to your heart, you're listening to your gut, you're following it. You go, it worked out really well. I had the same conversation with a lot of our clients when I'm closing contractors. They're scared. They don't know that we know what we're doing, because at the beginning, they think we're like any other like SEO company, right? Maybe we're seem more polished and we can provide more, case studies or something like that. And we have a tool that we built. So maybe there's more credibility, but they still don't know until their phone rings and money actually goes into their bank account, whether that's real. And you didn't know either. And it's great. You had never had any money come into your bank account from this business. And I like when we were, so we, in our group, in our private group, we shared a picture. It was Jeff, myself, and my wife. So we were regularly talking about when you guys share wins, I take those as our wins too. I selfishly absorb your wins as mine. And we were celebrating you guys at breakfast. You know, I think it was you, Alex, and I think I can't remember, there was one other person that we were like, man, these people really like, they crushed it this week. It meant the world to me to see you go from no clients to closing your first deal. And then you close your second deal, I think the same week, right?
Yeah, same week.
Because Brian Waddle was the other person because
Brian Waddle
too.
Yeah, Brian Waddle, that's who it was. He was the third. And Brian Waddle has just been like, from like we were on a call where we're like, man, this is all in your head, Brian. It's confidence, to like Brian's like closing someone every 15 minutes, it feels like, you know, which that's awesome. And it's certainly not from me or Jeff or Chris. It's you guys making the decision and this group all supporting each other to help each other, kind of like pull each other up. And you know, it's you get a lot more trust and confidence in people when they go from being like a flat face on Zoom to like breaking bread with someone, having dinner, having real conversations, talking about more things than backlinks in life, and like realizing that what we're doing is actually what we're saying is actually what we're doing. Like you hear these conversations where we're diving into the nuance on stuff. Nobody's thought about it that way unless you're in the trenches for a long time. And then you're like, oh, and I think with like what Alex Sherpanese was saying earlier, it's like there's a couple little sticking points and everyone's got different ones. And sometimes we've just got to like poke those out of the way. Like we had to like kind of tear things down and rebuild it up a little bit. But that's hard to do on a Zoom call. That happens an hour a week. You want to have a life-changing, you want to have a life-changing experience. You got to do what you got to do to put yourself in the room and maximize your chances of this. You're not going to be able to get a big change in your life by doing things halfway, by going in, by putting your little pinky toe into the pool. That's not how things change. People that take the chances are the ones that are going to get the rewards. Robert, I'm so excited for you, man. I can't wait. We're going to be on this call a year from now. And it's not going to be like, hey, I've learned my first 2 clients. It's like, hey, I'm looking at purchasing a house or something like this, something bigger. Let's keep it going. Let's keep moving, man. Let's get you to that next level. You've already gone up one level, man. So congrats to you. Thank you for sharing that stuff, man. I know there was some like vulnerability in there, and I appreciate you doing that. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Let's go over to Miss Ala. G.
Hello, I was hoping I was going to be next.
Yes, you are.
Just to add to Robert, this group is more like a friend group. Like you can rely on people. I made friends that I actually talk with since the challenge, since the Mastermind. I've made connections and they're my friends now. Like it's unbelievable. Usually like SEO is like a dog eat dog world, right? Like nobody's telling secrets. Everybody has their own little nugget and everybody keeps it close to the heart. This is not it. Like this is a group of friends. Like signing up is something like you're meeting people just like Patrick. And I told Patrick, he's an oddity in the SEO world. He's amazing. He's not a typical SEOer. And when I ran across it, I couldn't let him go. I'm addicted. I am addicted to this group. I'm addicted to the friendships. I'm sorry, I'm in the car. I'm always in the car. But I'm looking forward to summer. And as soon as you guys announced it, I signed up. So nobody's going to regret it. It's the best thing that I've done it's my only mastermind, and I'm still like in awe from it. So I can't believe you're topping what happened in February, but you are. So
yeah, we're going to try. We all got to keep moving forward, right? And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Al. I appreciate your kind words. like I'm somebody that you know, the words of affirmation, when I hear that type of thing, it really goes to my heart. So I absolutely appreciate this. It was amazing. We had kind of like gone back and forth for a few months online, and it was super cool to see you in person. And you know, my wife really connected with you, which was amazing. And she got the opportunity to speak some Russian with you, which was super cool. I know she's excited for you to come back to this next event. I know that we were diving into some of your stuff in the VIP circle. And I know that you've got a number of like personal challenges that are kind of tugging at you right now. But I think that, you know, your time, your breakthrough time on this is coming. A lot of like plugging away. I still want to jump on that call with you and go through some of your sites. I know the ball's in my court on that. My apologies for not getting back to you on that. We will do it though. So at this time, I'm going to drop the link. So if you guys go to, let me see, I'm going to throw it into all the different places here, and I'm going to kind of walk you through it. So if you go to LeadSnap events, leadsnapevents.com/request, I'm going to put it into the Facebook group as well, because I know there's a number of people that are not on this call that are on the Facebook call. So there you guys go. For some reason that did not. Oh, okay, there we go. So there it is. I'll share my screen. I'll walk you through some of this stuff. So, all right. So as I mentioned, for the people that are in Rank Masters, you guys don't sign up this way. We've got a sweetheart special deal for you guys as a part of that kind of like inner circle and being such a part of our community. But you can see here, basically we're looking for interest right now. So we've got a little bit of more information on the event, on the schedule. This is in I think it's actually in Davenport, Florida. It says Reunion on here, but it's just outside of Orlando. So the rooms, I believe, are not going to be available for like if the rooms are not available. It's a 20-bedroom house, but just to be clear, you guys will not be staying at the house. So there is, like I said, there's a lazy river, there's a bowling alley, there's laser tag. We've got a private conference room. We've got this pool, which I don't know how they got this thing in a backyard. I mean, it's a big property, but it does look like they stole this thing from a resort. It is absolutely amazing. Mr. Rafael Santana has promised that he will be grilling out. So the rumors of his grilling skills have been anticipated for years, to the point where it's a little bit suspicious. It's gotten to a mythological level, but he said he's been grilling out. And just so you know, Rafael is Brazilian. So he will be grilling out steak. Spencer, we can also grill out vegetables for other people. We'll make sure, as we always do, we're going to try to accommodate everybody that's there. Special dietary stuff. I know that there's some people that are coming from different parts of Canada. I've heard people that are like, hey, I'm coming all the way from Ireland. I want to make sure that I have my spot. So it's super cool. Last event, we had people coming from Western Canada, but now we've got people coming from other continents to join us, which is, I think, is amazing. It really feels like we've started something that it matters for people to see the value in it enough to fly over the pond is going to be awesome. So Biren, you could be. We are accepting Dutch people. If you want to fly over the pond and join us, love to have you. But so we've got July 27th. We're going to have the VIP training. So that's going to be 1 to 5. We're going to bring in some special speakers. It's going to be, the VIP is obviously going to be more intimate. And then we're going to have the meet and greet. That's for everyone. So this is going to be, the meet and greet is going to be at the mansion. So we'll bring in a bartender, kind of get to know you, some snacks, stuff like that. And then on Saturday morning, I think that's Saturday. This is 28th Saturday. The morning of the 28th, we have the VIP breakfast. So that's VIP only. A little bit more time to network with the people. Typically the people that join the VIP stuff, and this isn't a requirement, but what I've noticed is these are the people that are really getting after it. These are the people that are more serious. And to put you guys in front of these people, if you fit into that category and that's the group you want to be in, you want to go fast, we want to create these network opportunities for you to be around these people as much as possible and build those relationships. So the breakfast, we're going to have that for you guys there. And then we've got a full day of mastermind learning from 9 to 5. Multiple speakers. We'll have breaks. We're bringing in, I believe we're bringing in the lunch, catering this stuff for you. I've noticed in the events that I've gone to in the past, it's always frustrating when people are going off in 14 different directions and they're trying to come back, and it's just like not getting there in time, walking into the middle of someone else speaking. We want to eliminate that. We've got an amazing venue. So we're going to bring in some awesome food for you guys right at the place. So everything is in there. It's a part of your ticket there.
The 28th is the Friday, 29th.
Friday. Okay.
Hey, Patrick, Chris
Yeah.
here. Why don't you just refresh that page one time? And I added the dates for you. I just gave away who the webmaster is. Sorry, scroll down. It's me. There you go. Now I added the dates, so it makes more sense.
Man, that is some like that's really good web development, man. The way you put Thursday and Friday in there, it's beautiful. You can tell that there's obviously a lot of skills that go into that.
Yeah,
so
I've read Don't Make Me Think a couple times. So.
Yeah. Well, I know right what it is right away. So you did a good job. All right. So we got Friday, we got the breakfast, and then we got the mastermind with the speakers on that day. I'm not sure what we'll be doing Friday night. I'm sure we'll probably cook something up there, but we do have an early day on Saturday because another VIP session in the morning, right? VIP breakfast, another day of speakers coming in. We're going to have breakout circles, stuff like this. We're going to look at your responses, as I said earlier, to the survey that we'll send out for the people that sign up. And we're going to build a curriculum around you guys and what you guys need. I've never been to another event where they do it that way, but I think after doing it that way the first time, it was super powerful. Part of the reason why you guys are hearing the feedback you're hearing is because we had tailored the information to what they needed. So that's what those times will be filled with is that time learning. We're going to be going out for a special dinner. Actually, I'm not sure if we're going out, but we're going to have this special dinner on Saturday night for the VIPs. So VIP only dinner. This is going to be for me, this is part of what I'm most excited with is when we're through a lot of the training, and now we have a lot to talk about. We've gotten to know each other a little bit over the weekend. We can sit down for a couple hours, really kind of like peel back the onion a little bit more and find out who each other are, have some drinks, maybe have some great food, amazing time. This is where a lot of times I think for me and other people, we don't really feel like the relationships have been built until you've broken bread together. And I'm really looking forward to this, like having a really nice meal with you guys. Sunday fun day. So we're going to have VIP in the morning and VIP breakfast in the morning again, and then another VIP training session. And then we have the pool party. So this is open for everyone. Pool party, we're going to bring, we're bringing in a DJ. We're bringing back the bartender. We're going to have an amazing time. The venue, just looking at the venue, if you look at some of the pictures in here, if you guys watch the video, like it's going to be hard not to have fun if you're surrounded by like-minded people, entrepreneurs with great food, music. It's going to be something special. So our advice for you guys is to fly into the Orlando airport, right? It's not that far away. So you guys fill this out. Here's how this is going to work. If you have some more questions, you can hear from some of the people that were at the event and what their experiences were like the first time. So we're going to put in your information here. We're going to reach out to you guys. We are, like I said, we're going to be doing our best to accommodate everyone. We want to hear a little bit more about your story, and we want to personalize this a little bit more. So we're going to reach out to you guys. Put your information in there, guys. This is first come, first serve. We do not have the ability. All right. There's capacity limitations that we've agreed on for this venue. So this isn't like false scarcity. There's capacity limitations. First come, first serve. When this thing sells out, it's gone. We will be doing another event, and we'll be doing another event, I think, sometime towards the end of the year. We're trying to do one every 4 months. So probably, sometime around October, something like that. But I fully expect this is going to be sold out here, in the next, I don't know, but we sold out pretty quickly last time. And there's a ton of anticipation, I think, after our first event. Chris, you got anything to add to this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've thrown maybe 12 events in the last 14 months, many of them with several hundred people. A couple of you actually came to one of my events that I invited you to. And I'll tell you, just the intimacy of this last event we did in February and what we're going to have here in Orlando is really something special. You don't feel like just somebody in the crowd watching speakers talk, but it's like a fully immersive experience. And if you add in just the whole venue, the vibe, the opportunity to network with one another, it's just pretty incredible. So I'm blessed to be a part of it for sure. And I'm really excited about this event. I've gone through the Matterport, which is that like room by room walkthrough of the mansion, and it's insane. The laser tag, the bowling alley, the pool looks like something you'd see at an Orlando resort. I think it's going to be really, really exciting. So I'm really excited to be there. And of course, I'm going to bring my best stuff I've got for you as well, if Patrick lets me speak.
We'll see. We're going to take a poll.
I appreciate it.
Have we not heard your best stuff before? Is that
no, not yet.
Chris Moore?
Not yet.
All right, man. I'm excited. Does anybody have any questions?
I just want to add that, based on a couple of things that were said, like Spencer found a good solution, other people made great connections. Like, it's about putting yourself in the room with other people and getting to explore and kind of explain what your business looks like, what your challenges look like, and seeing what other people are doing so that you can kind of cross-reference and find those solutions, find the synergies. I started working with Patrick after maybe we had been in the room together 5-6 times, before the opportunity came up where it was like, hey, it makes sense for us to work together now. But I built those relationships in masterminds. I met Patrick at masterminds, I met Janeri at masterminds, and other people on this call. So it's just such there's so much opportunity when you get in the room with other people. There's so much energy when you get in the room with other people that can kind of propel you into the next level. And it's like looking around and seeing, other people and the way that they're doing things, the success that they're having. It's like, you realize that you're no different from them. They've struggled. You're in the middle of a struggle, big challenge. Okay, great. Let's break through and break through. The breakdowns lead to breakthrough. So how did they do it? Take a piece of what they did and take that energy and build some momentum for yourself to grow your own business. And I think it really works out that way. Like when you're in that kind of a space, it just becomes the default that you're going to be playing at the level of the other people that inspire you in the room. And I think the people that were at the Miami Mastermind in February and have spoken on this call have kind of related that. So I just wanted to hone in on that particular element of it, because it's been such a massive part of my own growth in digital marketing and just as a business person, entrepreneur in general. Going to masterminds, meeting people, learning new things, seeing what's possible from so many different angles, and then taking that, mixing it all up and figuring out what works for me. So I hope to see you all there.
Yeah, that's I 100% agree with you, Jeff. It's been amazing. Some of my most meaningful relationships have come from these type of events, and I remember when I first started and I would be worried about the cost of these type of events. And like looking back on it, I was kind of in the wrong mental state. I bet if we looked at if we were somehow able to plot people's revenue leading up to the events, maybe all the people that are in the LeadSnap group plot the revenue and then plot it and compare it to the people that were at the event versus those that weren't. And then ask them the question, hey, what do you think about that price that you paid for being there? And I think the ones that weren't there, that made that decision out of the financial decision, if you have a group of people that really know what they're doing and have a track record of teaching success, and it's also true that they care about you and they're vested in your success, and you decide to go and take that's the right place to kind of invest in, right? It's so much more expensive if you miss out on an opportunity like that. What is the cost that you're giving up? Look around at some of these people. Alex maybe would still have his job. Johnny would maybe still be in the weeds. And when he was going through family issues, he would be juggling some of this stuff. What was that cost of getting yourself and creating those friendships? It can be tough. Hey, when you're digging from an empty well,
if I hadn't built the relationships to give me the kind of view, perspective, and energy and just opportunity overall, I came in, I made so many mistakes. I don't know how I would have pulled out of that without having a community of people around me to show me the solutions and help me through it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like Robert said, this can be a lonely journey. You guys know what percentage of people are entrepreneurs? Let's throw it in the chat. I'll give you guys a few seconds. At what percentage of the population is actually an entrepreneur? So I was reading an article about this the other day. And I guess if we separate like entrepreneurs and business owners, because there's a lot of people that are business owners, and no offense intended, I don't count them as like entrepreneurs. So I've heard like 15%. 15% of people are what when I Googled it, came back as entrepreneurs. Now, looking across all the different business owners that we work with, the people we know, the people we've interacted with over time, what percentage of those people are on Zoom calls? Like, think about the contractors that you guys are working. Those people are consider themselves entrepreneurs and business owners. Are those people going to masterminds and trying to level up? And if they're not, and you're one of those people, it can be a pretty lonely journey, right? I think only a small percentage of that 15% is actually kind of has that entrepreneurial spirit that's really like going after it, trying to make these friends. And these are the events where you get to connect with those like-minded people who want the same thing that you do. Like Robert said, that's why it was life-changing for him. It's great that, like, hey, his business, but I think now he's got some like relationships that kind of speak the same language. Chris has this thing that he told me one time when we first met, and it really stuck with me because it's exactly how I felt. You know what I'm talking about, Chris?
I think I've said a lot of things, so no, I don't remember.
Zebra? You want to tell your zebra story?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to these type of events and groups, sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. One time, my mentor and best friend for a long time, he sat me down one day. He's like, "Hey, man, you're different. You're just built different." He said, you stand out from everybody else. People don't get you. He said, "You're like a zebra in a room full of horses." And I thought that was kind of odd. It's kind of a weird conversation to bring up. Then he put some piece of paper down on my desk and said, "Hey, I just booked us 2 tickets to go to this big marketing conference in Orlando." He said, "We're going to go find you a room full of zebras." And I'll tell you, it was powerful. As soon as I realized that there were other people out there like me who thought like me, had the same ambitions. People at home just didn't quite understand my ambitions, were confused while I was doing this online marketing thing. And, until I found my people, I really didn't get any momentum and really feel like I had anybody else who understood what I was going through. And this was a long time ago, but ever since then, I've been doing things like this and building rooms of zebras, and it's powerful. I've seen how many lives have been changed by being a part of groups like this. So one thing can I say, Patrick, is these events create momentum in your life and in your business that you just simply can't get on Zoom or from being in your office or your own environment. It's just, there's something magical about it. So you cannot replace it. So
I agree. It's certainly created a lot of momentum for me over the years. I would not be here. I would not be where I am without the relationships that came from these events, the learning things that came from those relationships after the events. Look, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I hope that you guys can find a way and join us. There's no secret that's going on here. There's no conspiracy. The people that were at the event, they are committed and they're on this call and they've had amazing results, and we've seen it, and we haven't just seen it in 1 or 2. The percentages is it's outstanding. It's amazing to see that whole shift, the momentum that was built at those events. We're giving you guys that opportunity. We would love to have you guys there and have you kind of become a part of this inner tribe. We think we have something special here. So I'm really excited. July 27th through 30th. Come to Orlando, hang out with us, and let's have an amazing time. And I'd love for you guys, when we have our next event in October, I want you guys to be one of these people that's saying, like, man, that event changed from where I am now. I've quit my job. It's changed my life. Like, there's going to be more of those stories. You have to make the decision. If you want that to be you, then jump in and join us for the event. Find a way. Don't put yourself in a bad situation by trying to get to this event. But if it makes sense, we would love to have you. We're seriously invested in trying to have a massive impact for anyone that comes, right? We wear our hearts on our sleeves. It's an amazing group, an amazing community. I'm so thankful to all of you guys. And I'm super stoked for all the relationships that were built to hang out with you guys. Nobody, like, two things. One is if there's betting that goes on at this event, don't let that betting be with Chris Moore on the bowling alley, because this guy apparently has like some, I don't know, he's bowled perfect games. That's all I'm saying.
With Patrick at the poker table. So just
It's been a long time since I played poker. Hardly remember the rules. I wouldn't worry about that one so much. Second thing is the laser tag. I'm excited. I'm excited to smoke some people in that laser tag. I love that game. All right. So, all right, guys, you guys have an amazing week. Over the next 7 days, please create some wins, do some things to move your business forward, put yourself in a better situation. We're heading into the next quarter, right? We're going into June. You guys, if you guys haven't made the changes in the first 6 months of the year, it starts with one step. It starts with 1 week. Take that this week. Put yourself in a better situation for next week. All right, you guys have an amazing week. We'll see you in the group. Let us know if you have any questions about the event. Take care, friends. Bye.